Thank you for staying with us. It's still sports tonight. And let me just read a few comments on Twitter before I come to my panel. Omename Samson at Usi All says the high point on the 3 team able to get something, and the low point is our contingent not getting their kits on time. That's what he says. And Damola Adebumi says, thank God we got bronze. I shake my head for Nigeria, but we wake up. It's better for us to wake up on time. He says kudos to the girl that represented Nigeria in rowing, talking about Chirika Okogu. Solomon Ibekwe says the high point for him was the golden bronze for Team Nigeria in football. The low point was lack of preparation by Team Nigeria. All right, and Bashir Bello says no Nigerian will be surprised about what happened in Rio concerning Team Nigeria. When are we going to prepare well for the Olympics? Israel Akinlawan says the low point for him was our inability as the most populous black nation to win a gold medal. And for him, the high point is the golden bronze of Dream Team 6. All right. Edu Ezeike says Brazil hosted wonderfully against slanderous odds. The low point for him was the American swimmer, Ryan Loch, who lied that he was robbed. And he says, for Nigeria, we didn't prepare. All right, let me pause a little bit on your comments. Let's move very quickly and focus on some of the moments we've been able to capture for you. Our producer, Yemi Adebayo, has been able to put pictures together to capture some of the moments for Team Nigeria. So let's take a look, one after the other, at some of these pictures, guys. We'll talk about them, and then we'll also expect you to pass comments about some of these things, all right? You can see right there on your screen some of the moments that we want to talk about in wrestling, in boxing, in basketball. We will also, of course, be talking about Ese Brume, who got to the final of our event and finished fifth overall. And this is the girl that we talked about earlier on, Okogu, Chirika, and of course, Aaron Okodri setting an African record as well at the Olympic Games, as well as our 4x100 meters relay team. And Divano Duduru, of course, this picture is going to keep it for a long time. Yeah. And of course, Team Nigeria, the opening ceremony, lining out in track and field. Guys, let's talk about it very quickly. Let's start with the basketball.
Well, the basketball, yeah, they had a very good preparation and all that, but then the momentum wasn't there, especially in the first game. They faltered. And the second game, it was slightly better. Third game, they were very unlucky to lose. Fourth game, they won. Fifth game, maybe because
this is the only game they won, Dotun, against Croatia. And Croatia ended up topping our group, of course.
Yes.
Well, actually, so they can pick up a few positives from this.
Like he said the other time, actually, they were unable to gather momentum during the early stage of the tournament. And actually, during the course of the tournament, they were now starting to gather momentum. And the momentum actually came late. So they were unable to
but after beating Croatia, we had one more chance. Against the host country.
But we are playing against a host country that has a fans with them. They also have a chance of qualifying to, and it was going to be a very difficult one. We've got our shootings very wrong, and of course the point guard weren't doing their work. There was no good defender amongst us. So that's just how it affected us. They had good preparation, but then it just happens.
All right, so that's the story of our basketball team. We want you to talk to us about it as well. What impressions have they left with you after the Olympic Games? For me, I think that for us will give us an idea of the potentials we have to dominate basketball in Africa with the way our team competes against some of the best basketball teams in the world. Let's take a look at some other pictures from the Olympic Games and see Efe Ajagba. The high point for Efe was his first fight, this fight, against the guy from Trinidad and Tobago.
Yes.
A few seconds into the fight, he knocked the guy out.
26 seconds, he knocked
the guy out.
Of course.
But that was the end.
That was the end. We were expecting that it's going to become smoking like a fire in the second game, and he was unable to replicate the kind of performance he had in the first game, and that was the end of the tournament.
In his first fight.
But we should be looking ahead in the future that maybe he's going to. We should be seeing a better boxers in the future that will represent. If you can remember,
this guy wants to go. This guy wants to go professional now.
Yeah, he wants to go professional right now.
So we have to raise the new generation of boxers.
Exactly, but then that means that train up, bring up a new generation of boxers, and of course him not just focus on knockouts, focus on getting points as well. And that was exactly what happened to him in the second bout. It wasn't as if he didn't do well.
He didn't get a chance to land those.
It wasn't sensible. Boxing is a very technical sport. It's all about getting your exactly. It's all about
amateur level.
Yes, it's all about getting your punches right, getting the points all right, and that was just what was wrong with Ajagba, and of course it affected him.
All right, so that's it for Efe Ajagba. One game, one knockout, but that was the end of it. But I think if we begin to prepare from now, we'll be able to raise more Efe Ajagbas, even those who will go better and do better than what Efe was able to do at the Olympic Games. Let's see another picture of Team Nigeria. This for me was an anticlimax. Going into the Olympic Games, Odunayo Adekuroye was on everybody's lips as a medal potential, a medal hopeful. But guess what? That was our first fight, and the Swede took her out completely.
She never had any chance. She never had any opportunity. She never had any break. She never, everything. The Swedes, like you said the other time, actually dominated the game, and she took her out completely. I was, like you said, she was a medals hope, and we never saw that happen during the course of the tournament. But I will keep saying it. The challenge we had going to the tournament actually led to what we saw in the tournament.
The sparring partners came late to Brazil.
Exactly. I wanted to say something like that.
That's
why I said factors are militated, especially wrestling.
Unfortunately, all of our wrestlers didn't win one fight.
They didn't win one fight.
Yes. All of them. All 7 of them, I think.
Exactly. They did not.
They didn't win one fight.
And that's something that it's so sad because they had good preparation. I mean, they had
okay preparation. Daniel Igali.
Okay. That's why I said good preparation. It wasn't a very good preparation. But then Daniel Igali understands what it means to compete in the Olympic. I mean, it's an Olympic gold medal for Canada, and he understands it. But then it just happened, and he's not even happy about it. And of course, Nigerians are not happy about it.
All right. So that's the story of our wrestlers at the Olympic Games. Odunayo Adekuroye, we know she will bounce back, pick our lessons from what happened to her, and then get better subsequently. I'm sure she still has maybe one or maybe at the most 2 more Olympics left. She's young. She still has a lot of future ahead of her. Let's take a look at another picture. Our producer will want us to see Ese Brume.
Yeah.
For me, one of the positives for Team Nigeria. She may not have won any medal, but she finished 5th in the final. So close to a medal. And this is a young athlete that we can begin to prepare and bank on for the future.
Yeah, certainly. I mean, Ese Brume actually came out in the Commonwealth Games, and it was like, wow, this girl has just come out. And of course, going into the Olympics, when she qualified into the finals, a whole lot of us were thinking, okay, Ese Brume will be able to do this. But then she came, 5th. It wasn't a distant 5th. It was very close to the medal zone. But then, she couldn't get it. So one of the positives, fine, she didn't get a medal, but one of the positives, and she can only work hard. She has the All-African Games, she has the Commonwealth Games, and some other competitions as well, the World Championship, so before the next Olympic in Tokyo. So maybe in Tokyo,
opportunities to improve.
She probably do a Choma Ajuma like in '96.
So opportunity for her to improve?
Opportunity for her to improve. I saw what she did last Thursday in the final of the long jump. I was thinking that she's going to actually try harder.
And one of the things, sorry to cut you, was that she was improving on her.
She was improving gradually.
As she was going, she was improving on her jump. So there's a lot of future ahead of her.
That's what I want to say exactly, because when I saw her actually took onto the track, I was thinking that this time around we are going to get at least a bronze medal from this particular sport. But at the most important time, actually, she dwindled in form during the course of that tournament. Though she tried, like he said the other time, that she has a positive she can pick from this particular tournament going into other tournaments before the next Olympics. So we should be expecting good medal, bronze medal, silver medal from her in the future.
All right, so that's a good one. Ese Brume finishing 5th in the final is one of the positives of the Olympic Games, and I hope that as a country we build on this going forward. This is really one of the positives from the Olympic Games. What picture is coming up next that our producer is having for us? We've talked about this. You've spoken about this one, so we don't need to dwell too much about it. A tournament, I beg your pardon, a sport that we're not used to in Nigeria. She sponsored herself, and I think this could be an opportunity for us to begin to also look at this kind of sports in Nigeria. Certainly. We have the environment for it, a lot of waters, a lot of opportunities for things like this that we can key into and make a success of it.
Exactly. I mean, I was in a part of Lagos that had, on Saturday, that had water around it. I'm talking about the Ikorodu area of Lagos, and I could see the water and everything. I was just thinking, okay,
if somebody could tap into this.
If you could just tap into, because these are waters that are actually good for rowing. Now, if we could just tap into this, I'm sure that the president of the Rowing and Canoeing Federation of Nigeria is talking about something like this, but then they just need the support of the Sport Ministry and, of course, the necessary agencies to make sure that we tap into this, and maybe that we could just be champions in Africa on this, like it happened in beach soccer.
All right, so that's a good one. For the girl, who also had to take a break off school to focus on this sport. I hope Nigeria doesn't throw this girl away. I hope we can encourage her, and who knows, 4 years down the line, this could become very, very big for us, and an opportunity for us to also develop rowing as a sport in Nigeria. All right, let's go on to the next picture that our producer has for us. This is the guy. This is the guy. What can we say about Aruna Quadri? Emeka Dena on Twitter says, my highlight of Rio 2016 was Aruna Quadri's victory over the world number 7 Shuang of Chinese Taipei. Apart from beating this one, he also beat Thomas Ball of Germany, who is the best ranked European table tennis player in the world. Aruna Quadri became the first African ever to get to the quarterfinals of the Olympic Games. Huge for Aruna Quadri.
Kudos to him.
What can we do for this guy? What can Nigeria do for this guy?
Well,
he's the best in Africa at the moment.
He's the best in Africa at the moment, rated 25th in the world, and he can even keep doing it and even doing it better. Remember, last year he was being voted as the best tennis player in the world, table tennis player in the world. And if you look at his development, you can see that he's not leaving any stone unturned. He kept doing well virtually every time. He became the first African to get to the quarterfinal of table tennis tournament, table tennis sports at the Olympics. And you can expect even more from him. He will be attending another tournament come the month of October. And if you look at his track record, you definitely see that he's a guy who understands the game, who wants to play the game, who has the ability to play the game, and who is doing better when he's playing the game.
And it is instructive also, Cosmos, to tell people that this guy lost to the world number 1, Malong. He lost, and every other person that came across Malong at the Olympics were thoroughly beaten. So it means that if it wasn't for Malong, maybe Aruna Quadri would have gone to the final.
Certainly.
Yes,
I mean,
all the way.
You just need to look at the way, the steadiness until they got to the quarterfinals. And of course, when we heard that it was meeting the world number 1, we were just praying that things should just happen. We're just praying, but then it just happened, and he has already made it. He has already set the record as the first African to get to the quarterfinals of a table tennis event in the Olympics. Beat some of the best before he could get to the quarterfinals. So for me, he's already a legend, and I just hope he could just work on that. And probably the next Olympics, each competition keep improving, and when it matters most in the next Olympic, get to that point where he could get a medal.
All right, let's take one more picture before we go on a break and see if we can quickly talk about the girls. Well, we're not talking about these girls individually, we're talking about these girls as a team. 4x100 meters relay. Against all odds, they got to the final. Unfortunately, in the finals, they finished last. But they were the only African team in the final.
Certainly.
Something we can build on.
Yes, certainly. Something we can build on. I mean, in the relay races, 4x100, 4x400, whether it's in the male or in the female, Nigeria are pretty much strong. We've not been really doing well because of the fact that of the shoddy preparation and all the shenanigans happening in our sports. But then, if we had worked well, I feel we'll probably have, get to the point where we'll get a medal like we've been getting in past Olympics, especially in 2004 and 2008. So let's just hope that we'll work well on that, and certainly things will probably be better.
Okay, and so we have to go on a quick break. When we return from the break, we'll still talk about Team Nigeria. We'll find out what picture is up next for us after this timeout. Join us again. All right, thank you for still joining us. This is the final part of Sports Tonight. But we're wrapping up now. And the last picture from the Olympics around Team Nigeria we're talking about today is this guy, Divine Oduduru, competing at the Olympic Games for the first time, running in the same heat along Usain Bolt. He finished second. He made it to the semi-finals in his first Olympics. And Divine Oduduru, truly young, represents the future. We wish him, of course, the best. All right, that's how we have to wrap it up on Sports Tonight. This beautiful Tuesday. Cosmos, thank you for your time.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you as well for your time on the show. Thank you to you for watching. We'll see you again tomorrow. Bye-bye now.